What is up, guys? 70 Savage here. Today we have a very exciting day. We are going to be taking Van on a trip to Tahoe for an extended weekend. We have all sorts of fun activities planned, mountain biking, we're gonna be hiking, we're gonna be eating some bomb South Lake Tahoe food. I'm super stoked. So if you are new to the channel, we have been converting this Sprinter van right here into a full-on tiny home, and now we are traveling around with it. I have been documenting the entire process along the way in terms of how to build it. There are videos on how to install solar panels, how to install all of the plumbing in the van, how the floor works, my sliding bed system, and much more. If you are interested in those types of build videos and want to know exactly how this thing was made, definitely check those videos out on the channel. If you like this video and you are interested in more van life content, slap that subscribe button below, slap that like button below, and now let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, we have our pre-flight checklist. Anytime I'm about to start up the van, I make sure to check these few things. First of all, fan, is it on? It is. Turn that puppy off. Next thing on the checklist, windows. Are they open? Yes, they are. Let's close them off. And that actually covers it. Only two things, thankfully no more, or else I might have trouble remembering it. Let's go ahead and start this puppy up. We got the bike in the reverse cam, making me even more stoked, and we're off. So the lowdown for this trip here, we are currently in COVID quarantine, and because everybody at our company has been working way too hard and not taking any time off, we have a mandatory take Friday off day tomorrow. On top of the holiday on Monday, a 4-day weekend, and when I heard that, my first instinct was, I'm taking the van and we are going to go do something fun. This same weekend, my parents decided that they were going to go up to Tahoe, so I thought, well, might be a perfect time to take the van up to Tahoe and have a bailout strategy in case there is truly nowhere to stay. I absolutely love going to Tahoe. I have spent so much of my time, my entire childhood, going to South Lake Tahoe, doing skiing in the winter, mountain biking in the summer, all the hiking, all the fun outdoor activities, and it's honestly probably part of the reason why I ended up building this van in the first place. So I am very stoked to be taking the van to Tahoe. All right, so this much gas right here is definitely not gonna make the full trip. Let's go ahead and fill her up. It is estimating our range at 285 miles. If I remember correctly, that's actually pretty low. So let's see what we end up with when we get all the way up there. We got sunny days back to back all the way through Monday, and the temperature is gonna be absolutely perfect. Because this trip was so last minute, I did not actually plan on any specific places to stay. We haven't called any campgrounds. I don't really know what it's like up there with the whole COVID situation, if you could even stay at any of the official campgrounds. That being said, that is one of the best parts about having a van conversion as opposed to a full-on RV, is you can kind of just go anywhere, anytime, without plans, and you'll probably be able to figure it out. Something that is so nice about this conversion in particular is when I'm going over really smooth roads like this, there are absolutely zero squeaks and rattles throughout the van. The driving experience is just so smooth. I feel like I'm driving just a regular sedan. Something new that I've gotten since my last vlog is this head unit, as well as a full-on sound system in the van. On my very first trip in the van, I actually didn't have a sound system at all. This van didn't even come with any speakers. I put an 8-inch sub right next to the heater underneath the passenger seat there, so it bumps pretty good, surprisingly well for a van sound system. It's gonna make this trip so much more enjoyable being able to listen to music. We are already taking our first stop. Where could it be? You guessed it, none other than Chick-fil-A. Awesome. Thank you very much. You too. Heck yeah, brother. We got ourselves Chick-fil-A. Back on the road again. Hey, rolling through Sacramento now. I do actually know one person that lives in Sacramento. Another popular van channel, Ken from Our Caravan. I actually learned a ton of stuff for this build and how to do this channel from him. So definitely check him out if you haven't. I'm gonna put his link in the description below. Ken, what do you think of Sacramento? All right, so I'm currently an hour and 18 minutes out. I've traveled about 130 miles, and it's saying that my range is still 283 miles. So I think it's fair to say that the range estimation when I first started was drastically off. Must have been because I was just sitting in my driveway with my car idling, charging the batteries while I was living in here for about 3 weeks. Good to know for future, you get way more than 291 miles per full tank. Kind of starting to look like Tahoe, especially with the old cannabis dispensary signs. Look at how cool this rock is right here. Massive. I wonder if you could rock climb that thing. 15 minutes out, getting real close. So it's currently saying that my ETA is 4:34 p.m. and this is pretty embarrassing, but I have a video game tournament starting at 5 p.m. The second that I park, I'm pretty much gonna need to connect to the internet, start warming up, and then play the tournament. All right, guys, so we just finished the gaming tournament. By the way, if you or your kids play Fortnite, I did just start a brand new YouTube channel. It literally has like 3 subscribers. I'll put the link to it in the description below. We made it to our location for the night. For tonight, I'm just camping out in a neighborhood. This neighborhood, my parents have a cabin in, so I'm not feeling like I'm stepping on anyone's toes or anything like that. I am actually going to go into the cabin to have some home-cooked food and take a shower. This is what the neighborhood looks like. It's sunset right now. This is not their house, by the way, so don't show up here. Very cozy place to spend the night. The only thing is there's actually a lot of bears here. I do have food in my van, which I'm not going to remove all of it because that feels crazy. So yeah, let's pray for no bear encounters. Tomorrow we're going to wake up and get an activity-packed day. I will see y'all tomorrow. Good morning, guys. My GoPro just died. I am currently recording on the phone, so hopefully this footage comes through all right. Obviously, we're starting the day off with a good old mountain bike sesh. These trails off of Oneida are some of my favorite mountain bike trails of all time. I'm currently just starting with the small one today. It's the Corral Trail. If you continue up the road here and keep going for another few miles, you get to what's called Armstrong Connector, which is an amazing, amazing downhill trail. This one right here is a really, really fun one. It's pretty short. It's probably about an hour round trip. The nicest part about these trails is the entire uphill is on cement. So it's really efficient to get up, and you can just bomb down, little sendies in there. If you consider yourself a badass mountain biker, you can even find yourself going down Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It's probably the most famous trail up here. If I had to explain it, it's pretty similar to rock climbing, but with a mountain bike. We are gonna go ahead and send it down the trail here. Woo! Just finished the ride. It was absolutely awesome. I cannot imagine a better way to start out the day. Absolutely phenomenal trail. Love Corral Trail, love all of the trails up here. Whoever you guys who maintain these trails, they're beautiful. We are going to hop in a quick shower here. I'm not gonna use the van shower. And then we are gonna go straight into the next activity. We are going to the golf course here with Papa Savage. You ever been called Papa Savage?
No, but I like it.
We have Papa Savage in his natural form.
On the tee box. Sure sounded good. Whoa.
Hit us a bomber. Let it go.
Oh, you killed it, man.
Alrighty, so now that we are done with golfing, we are going to go check out a campsite that's only 6 miles away. Hopefully it's open, hopefully it's campable. The idea was that this was supposed to be a camping trip. So I found this spot with the Free Roam app. If you look at Lake Tahoe, there's a campsite close to South Lake Tahoe called Big Meadow Campground. We are about 1.8 miles out here, and it is looking awesome, like just the terrain in general. We just drove by it, and unfortunately there is a gate and it is closed. Looking like that's not gonna happen. However, my dad does seem to know about a potential camping spot up here, so we're gonna go check that out now. All right, so although this campsite is actually closed, this connects to the first one we were looking at as well. This, I guess, is just kind of the back way to get there. We are gonna go ahead and walk back there and see what it would look like if it were to be open. So this sign right here, which is very close to the entrance, says there is camping allowed in the designated sites for 14 days. That's badass. So we walk down this road a little bit. This right here could be a spot, potentially. It's awesome out here. Very, very quiet, super far from the highway. This is gonna have to be a go-to spot once it opens back up. So you have this regular looking forest, but if you look a little bit closer, you can find these things coming out of the ground. This is not artificial, it's a snowflower.
So this is the trailhead for the Tahoe Rim Trail, which literally goes all the way around Lake Tahoe, and it's almost 100 miles, just a beautiful area.
Starts right there. This right here is the entire Tahoe Rim Trail. Where are we, Dad?
Right there, Big Meadow. We're gonna drive into Hope Valley.
Yeah, we're gonna check out Hope Valley next. Hopefully there is a camp spot. So I don't know how I missed this before, but closed due to COVID, so hopefully it'll be open soon. Van in her natural habitat. All right, so instead of going back home that way, we are going to go this way, keep going down this road, and see if we can just find any undocumented camping territory. All right, we just pulled off the road. I think we found some land here. Let's see, what does this sign say right here? Humboldt-Toiyabe National Forest. Permit required though. Dang it. Where do we get a permit?
It's only for campfires, charcoal fires, and stoves.
Oh, nice. 14-day stay limit, baby. This could be our spot. Looks like we got ourselves some fellow campers out here. Dang, look at this spot right here. Little campfire and this view over the meadow. That's beautiful. This might have to be the spot. This right here is the other side of the National Forest. It's much quieter than the other one. I don't think we've seen a single camper yet. There's far fewer spots, but this one right here in particular is really cool. You get that boulder up there.
Look at the view of the ridge over there.
There's probably a lot more to this road as well, but we're calling it quits here. So for those of you wondering about the magnetic ceiling back there and whether or not it's still up, this road right here is probably put it to the test more than any road I've been on thus far, and ceiling's still up. So that was super cool all in all. We had planned to go out and check out that one first camp spot that was only a few minutes away, and we ended up staying out there for hours just driving around that national forest, looking at all the different campsites. That being said, it is now already almost dark outside, and we still didn't even go to the grocery store to get supplies or anything like that. Because it's a 4-day weekend, we had the luxury of waiting until tomorrow to go out there and actually camp. Really looking forward to it. All right, guys, so coming at you on the next day now. It is about 12 o'clock noon, and I have some really good news for you guys. So after we got home from our escapade of exploring campsites, my dad was really inspired, and we came up with a great idea. We are going to do a joint miniature camping trip. We basically came back into the house. My dad was so stoked on the campsites that we found. We told my mom all about them. We decided that we are gonna do a caravan trip up to Burnside Lake, which is the last campsite that we toured. They are going to drive up in the SUV, and I'm going to drive up in the van, and we're just going to camp out as a family. I'm super excited that this happened how it did, because I did want to spend some time with my parents this weekend as we were both up in Tahoe, but I also really wanted to go camping and use the van. So this is the best of both worlds. They are just finishing packing up now, and we are going to get this show on the road. So I got my mom here in the passenger seat. Looks like she chose the right car to ride in. We're gonna go fill up on gas, and then we're gonna get some last minute groceries for the trip. So I only came out with a couple things here. Couple pieces of breakfast, water jug. As you guys know, I do have a 30-gallon water tank back there, so van lifers will understand. Let's go ahead and put all this stuff in the fridge. So this is the freezer right here. I survive off of primarily frozen food, so I tried to optimize for the biggest freezer section of all the fridges that would fit in this compartment. We got our caffeine, and then most importantly, we got our beer. Hoping that my mom made up for my lack of food purchases. I'm sure she did. She is like the most prepared person of all time. It's Cooper's first camping trip. Yeehaw! We are going camping for one day, and my mom's got a full cart of groceries. My mom's shopping trip was much more successful than mine, and also much healthier. Maybe I should let her shop for me more often. All right, so dry stuff goes up here in the cabinet. Fridge stuff goes in fridge.
Okay, got it.
Dang, we are stocked up. I don't think this fridge has ever been this full, nor has it ever been this healthy. We are off to the mountains. Excited, Mom?
I'm so excited. I haven't been camping in forever.
All right, we are stopping at the bottom here. I'm actually going to pull some of the weight out of here when we go on this crazy bumpy road. It's only really being held on by this latch and then one more 5-pounder. Everything in here is all latched down. I think we are good to go. Now we've got about 4 or 5 miles of dirt road that looks kind of like this. In fact, this is probably the nicest section. It gets much rockier and tougher on the van. So this is the exact same road that we drove up yesterday. However, we only made it about 20 minutes. And when we got back home, we looked it up on Google Maps, and there's actually a lake at the very top. So today we are gonna try and make it all the way up to the top, and hopefully it is beautiful up there. Looks like we already got somebody in the very first campsite here. So way more populated than yesterday. All right, so my mom decided not to ride with me. I convinced her it was gonna be a pretty bumpy ride in the van here. They're pretty outdoorsy people. They do tons of hiking, mountain biking. They spend a lot of their time outside when they come to Tahoe, and they come to Tahoe pretty often. That being said, they are not big campers, at least recently. They both camped a lot when they were kids. Back, you know, decades ago. They have all these great camping stories, but this is the first time they've been camping in decades, literally. So when they finally decided that this was gonna be the camping trip this weekend, it was pretty funny to watch them prepare for it. The idea is that we're gonna be out here for one day. The amount of preparation talk that they had, they're like, we gotta bring, do you have cups? They literally We're preparing for this camping trip as if it were the apocalypse. And stuff's getting rocked around pretty good back there, but we haven't actually lost anything yet. What's up?
Broken axle. I was flying.
You broke an axle. I don't believe it.
Just kidding.
You were flying though. You made it past me in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, you're not that far behind actually. Guess what I think we forgot?
What?
We have
Toilet
got
paper.
this.
I have toilet paper.
Yay!
Keep on trucking. We are climbing. This one's pretty steep here. Hopefully I don't just start sliding backwards. Oh my god, so much fun. And we can now see the lake on the GPS here. Nice little camp spot right there. Another really nice campsite. Big puddle. We are so close now. One more turn here. Oh, I see it. There's most definitely a body of water. Dang, little sneak peek through the trees here. All right guys, so we made it to the top here, but it looks like the end of the road is right there and there aren't any unoccupied camp spots. So we're gonna go back down before the lake. We just realized that there are an absolute ton of mosquitoes near the lake here. So it actually might be better if we go down away from the lake a little bit. We drove back about half a mile here. That's the road right out there. And we found this super cool spot. So we just walked out a little bit farther. The van's back there. We're thinking that this little pad right here could be the prime territory for camping. The only challenge is, how are we actually gonna get the van here? We're thinking going over these rocks. There's one big one here that the van might bottom out on. This line is pretty decent, but look how close we are here to this rock. If I don't gain any elevation by coming out of this rut, then I'm gonna clip the diesel heater, which would be a big problemo. Hold. You want to look at it, put it in park. It's gonna be good, but look at it. All right, look at how close we are. It's like an inch, maybe less than an inch. Pretty awesome. Keep on going. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. More than enough. Okay, totally cleared it. Speed a little bit. All right guys, we have successfully made it. The van is in the perfect spot here. We are gonna switch it with the Land Cruiser, but we did all the challenging stuff. We made it all the way up through this little rock garden here, which I know for all you off-road guys is probably nothing. But for a two-wheel drive cargo van with an entire tiny home in the back, that makes me pretty stoked. So awesome. So believe it or not, I did actually use the paddle shifters for this one. I just locked it in first gear, which helped a lot. Beautiful view at the top of this mountain here. We're pretty far from the road, although this does look like it is actually a designated camp spot, so I think we're in the clear. This is probably the coolest camping spot I've stayed at so far. Thanks to the help of these guys. I cannot get over it. Here's our little circle of love right here. Cooper likes camping, and he's not running away yet. We found this just laying in the dirt. It's like definitely some sort of man-made tool. It's super sharp, it's like a knife. Pretty dang cool. Something even cooler is that the entire van survived. So there's no plumbing leaks. I just checked the electrical and the inverter and all that. Everything's good to go. Papa Savage here busted out the old fishing pole, about to catch a hog. So we are walking back to the lake now. I did remove the microphone from this, so hopefully all this footage is not just useless. There's a cool little creek going through the road, and that rock up there is awesome. It's beautiful. Here is our first view of the lake up close here. It is awesome. Gotta cross a little creek here to get to the other side of the pond. We're thinking that over there is gonna be the best fishing spot. That's where we came from over there. That's where we're going over there. I don't know which peak that is up there, but it's pretty awesome. All right, so a couple of years ago, we were all fishing on the East Coast. Somebody pulled their rod over really quickly. The hook went straight through my dad's finger, all the way through it. And it hooked a good one, hooked about a 250 pounder. We officially have a line in the water. Big man.
I think the egg came on.
What do you think about this fishing stuff here, huh? What do you think about it? No, you don't like it? Okay. Just got a little bite out there. Yeah. Ready? Go get it. Mom, what does your forest yoga look like?
Triangle pose.
Triangle pose. Dang. No fish with the old fishing pole. We do think we got one bite, but it was still a little bit questionable. That being said, it was beautiful out there. We are walking back to the van now. We made it back to the campsite. We're just gonna chill out, eat some food, drink some beer. This right here is the view from outside the van. Starting off with a little carrots and hummus, nice and healthy. A little chilada, not so healthy. Baked beans, my mom cooked them in the old microwave.
One dish meals. That is gonna work the best in here.
We got the food truck going here. A fresh hot dog. All right, so we had an awesome dinner. Now we are just chilling. We do have one debacle though. The challenge is I have two parents here. The back of an SUV and a van. So we're trying to figure out sleeping situations here. I think the most reasonable sleeping situation is having the parents sleep in the back of the van where there's a nice heater and it stays warm. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to sleep in the back of the SUV here. The mama and the papa are gonna sleep on the comfy bed and I'm gonna sleep on the floor here. The heater says that it is currently 70 degrees. I do have to admit this van was not built for 3 people, but we're making it work. What do you guys think?
I love this van.
It's so fun.
Van life.
Van life.
Good morning, guys. We just woke up. We had a very successful night inside the van. Me sleeping on the floor, parrot sleeping on the bed. One thing I realized though is I could have pulled off the little cushions on the bench seat there and laid them down on the floor. That being said, the floor itself wasn't that cold surprisingly because I did only put a 1/4 inch of insulation down there. I thought it was going to be colder, but it wasn't, which is nice. Diesel heater kept up. It is another beautiful day out here. Perfect temperature already, not too hot. Blue skies. My dad planted the idea of going down to a little cafe called Getaway Cafe instead of cooking breakfast here, and that sounded pretty tempting to all of us. So it was a very short, sweet little trip out here, a great little experiment with this campsite. Good, good, good. Keep going, keep going. Okay, almost buried the tank now. Fun stuff. We made it out of the challenging part unscathed. Now we just have to go down this few miles of washboard road until we get back to the highway. So this crew right here was quite rowdy last night. They were just hooning all their off-road vehicles and stuff like that. So that made sleeping a little challenging, but they seem like nice people. We are just getting back on to smooth road here. Everything looks to be still intact. We made it to the Getaway Cafe. Oh, that was a great meal, but I am exhausted now. I'm gonna go home, take a shower, chill for a little while, hopefully muster up enough energy to go mountain biking later. That is the main goal since it is the last full day. All right guys, so back in the van now. It is now the next day. Although we had big plans yesterday, I wanted to do that mountain bike ride one more time. I think I got less sleep than I originally thought. Pretty much the moment we got back, I just napped all day, was super lazy. I think we had a little bit too much to drink, to be honest. We are now at the end of Memorial Day weekend. We are gonna drive back to the home base, a fellow camper van. We are officially leaving Lake Tahoe. We will be back soon. Saw that. You guys already know we had to make one last stop. Hey, we made it home. Everything on the van itself held up perfectly. We got a little bit of mud going through those puddles, but thankfully we were able to dodge the rocks. Wish I got a little bit more mountain biking in, maybe next time. I filled the water tank to about halfway at the beginning of the trip, and we're at about a quarter now. So I used roughly 7 gallons of water. Batteries are at a fresh 100%. That's because we just finished the drive. Since we were spending so much time outside, they actually never really dropped below 90% the whole trip. It was really fun to be able to push the van to its off-roading limits. Really nice to go camping with my parents. I'm pretty surprised that we were able to convince them to come camping with us. There were also a lot of rumors that cops were pulling people over and giving them $1,000 tickets just for being in Tahoe. They're very territorial up there, but that did not happen to us. So I decided, as we are traveling around to all these different national forests and all these different BLM lands, I'm gonna start giving each one of them an official Savage score. For this Toiyabe, not sure how you pronounce it, National Park, I'll put the name on the screen below. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. It was beautiful location. It was very quiet for the most part until the partiers showed up. The lake up there is really nice. There's hiking trails, there's all sorts of stuff to do, and it's just a fantastic place to camp out. If you are interested in more trips in the future, definitely slap that subscribe button below. If you like this video, don't hesitate to slap that like button below. We are almost at 20,000 subscribers. I cannot even believe I'm saying this, so I appreciate all your guys' support thus far. Let's aim for 30K now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.